We are now beginning the panel, well, we began the panel discussion, but we are now going to restart it with the other members over here. We are indeed a full panel, और हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि जो panel से हमें आवाज़ें आएंगी, that will be all about a call to action. Please capture your call to actions. You can put it on a slips of paper and give it to us. We'll have everybody's call to action there, which will go to the new governments that are stepping in at the federal and the provincial levels, so that that's what will change the narrative of ASER as a call to action. Thank you so much for all the panels to be here with us. And we want to start off with Scott Whoolery, who is currently the Chief of Field Operations and Emergency for UNICEF Pakistan, and he brings 23 years of experience. And I just was very keen that somebody from UNICEF who is looking at issues of child rights, issues of emergencies, issues of education and learning in early years and multi-sectoral support and health and nutrition, how do you see in your portfolio areas which match and resonate with what the ASER findings are? And how do we begin to see, and I hope this conversation will be picked up later by the panel, how to see the issues of emergency and regular programs merging into one and not having these separate line items and budgets which confuse people when emergencies strike. For us, emergencies have become the norm. Over to you, Scott.
Thank you so much, esteemed colleagues, excellencies. Partners, you've given me a big task, and I think with the panel I don't have a lot of time. So I'll try and hone in on a couple issues. The first is to talk about numbers. I love numbers. I met 4 new friends here today, and they talked about how much they love math. And numbers are amazing. They're infinite. You can put all the numbers you want on a page. You're going to run out of pages before you run out of numbers. But an important thing that numbers do is to tell a story, our story, their story. And I really want to highlight and compliment the way that the survey's done. We're telling the story of families, young children, and their experience, their challenges, their struggles, their hopes for education. And I just want to say, you've done good justice for their stories. And we have numbers, but we need to understand the stories and what's behind it. And we need to understand that each of these numbers is a child. That each of these child has an incredible potential. That we need to see that potential. We need to respect that potential. We need to honor that potential, and that requires all of us to do more, to use data, to use evidence, to partner, to have dialogue so that we can overcome these issues. Because the scariest numbers are the number of out-of-school children, 26.2 million, the lack of resources going into education at many levels, and especially in the early child years. And we need to find ways to focus on that. UNICEF works with a range of partners. Each year, in partnership with governments and others, we reach hundreds of thousands of children. In emergencies, in programming, early child education, foundational learning, remedial learning, trying to fix the gaps. We have alternative, we have accelerated learning. There's so much that we're doing, but there's so much more which needs to be done. And I do think one of the important things is to find out what's really working, who's not being reached, and can we find the strategies. And it's going to take investments to move beyond just the brick and mortar, the salaries, the supplies, to really make sure that we reach the full population. Again, our transgender community, the progress which has been made in that is from very specific investments to address a very specific need. So, in being brief, I just want to thank you for the opportunity today. I want to acknowledge all the work which has come into this, and to really highlight that it tells a story. It tells a story of some significant progress, but a significant need to invest and to work together to address this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Remember, the call to action is, remember, behind every child who's not learning or not in school, there's a child. That child has a story to tell. We need to look at data for action. Thank you, Scott.